Hello and welcome back to another Carzone review. SUVs are big sellers for car brands these days. Now Toyota has taken the Toyota Yaris and they've turned it into a small SUV. It's this, the Toyota Yaris Cross. The new Toyota Yaris Cross goes on sale from just under €30,000, going all the way up to €37,000 for a top-of-the-range GR Sport model. It goes up against rivals like the Peugeot 2008, the Opel Mokka, the Ford Puma. There's lots going on in the small SUV segment. But the new Yaris Cross promises a fuel-sipping hybrid powertrain wrapped up in these rugged SUV looks. So in this video, we're going to take a closer look at the new Yaris Cross to see can it deliver on style, practicality, efficiency in that really hotly contested small SUV segment. Before we get into the rest of the video, please click subscribe to stay up to date with all our latest videos. And remember, you can find more Toyotas for sale like this Yaris Cross on carzone.ie, Ireland's trusted motoring marketplace. Toyota Yaris Cross is built on the same platform as the Toyota Yaris, but it is a bigger car when you meet it in the metal. It's grown in all different directions. It's higher, it's wider, it's longer as well. It's got lots of rugged styling features. This big upright front end, we've got some cladding here below the bumper and these big headlights. It's probably not quite as pretty as a Peugeot 2008 or as cool as an Opel Mokka, but I do think it's a solid offering from Toyota that will go down really well with the target audience. So all versions of the Yaris Cross get alloy wheels, 16-inch as standard. Higher trim levels get 18-inch like this Yaris Cross Sol that I have here. There's lots of more rugged design features along the side of the car. We have these squared off wheel arches with plastic cladding on those to give it a rugged look. And also there's cladding here along the lower sill. This one even has what appears to be a side step, which is something that you'd see in larger SUVs. And like every small cool SUV, you can get the option of a black contrast roof. At the back of the Yaris Cross, you can definitely see the resemblance to the Yaris hatchback, especially in these large lights. It's got more height, it's just more rugged looking, and it's got this plastic cladding here in the rear bumper. So is the Yaris Cross practical? Well, let's take a look in the boot to see. You've got a really good boot here in the Yaris Cross. It's 397 litres, which is good for this class of vehicle. There's also a nice wide opening, so it certainly feels more practical than the Yaris hatchback, for example. It also has some clever features in that you've got a split floor. So when it's in this position, you've got this nice flat loading sill, but you can also drop that floor to carry larger items. So it's worth noting that these rear doors don't open exceptionally wide, so the access to the rear of the car is quite narrow. Then once you're seated back here, well, the Yaris Cross is a bit wider than the Yaris, so it does feel more spacious back here. Now, for me, seated here, I've got plenty of legroom and plenty of headroom as well. That driver's seat is in my driving position, but if you had a taller driver and a taller passenger in the rear, it is going to be a little bit tight for legroom here in the Yaris Cross. So something like a Peugeot 2008 or a Renault Captur feels a little bit more spacious here in the back. The rear seats split fold 40-20-40, which is quite unusual for this class of vehicle. And if you want an armrest, you just let down this middle section and you've got two cup holders here, but this is now open to the boot, so that could get noisy on a long journey. For family buyers, there's Isofix on the two outer seats. The cabin of the Yaris Cross takes its inspiration from the Yaris, but it does feel more mature and grown up in here. Now, it's not quite as stylish in its design as something like the Peugeot 2008 or the Renault Captur, but the build quality is rock solid. It just is really good in here. For example, the plastics here are all really good quality, and then this Sol model also has some really nice fabric trim here in the door panels. The driver display has a digital element to it in the centre. All the graphics look really good and it's easy to understand. All versions of the Yaris Cross also get a touchscreen, but it varies in size depending on which model you go for. The standard size is 7 inches, but top of the range models like this Sol model and above get this 9-inch screen, and it's got a really modern interface and it's easy to use as well. But no matter which version you go for, all versions get a wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connection. There are 4 trim levels for the Yaris Cross in Ireland and they all come very well equipped. Even the entry model has push button start, a reversing camera and dual zone climate control. There's also a full suite of standard safety features in the Yaris Cross, like adaptive cruise control, road sign assist, forward collision warning and lane departure alert. The Toyota Yaris Cross uses the same platform as the Toyota Yaris hatchback and also the same 1.5 litre hybrid powertrain. It's a standard hybrid, so you don't have to plug it in and charge it to get the best efficiency from the car. It produces 116 horsepower, so it feels nippy around town and there's plenty of power for driving out on bigger roads as well, like motorways. It's not quite as lively as some of those small turbo petrol engines that you'll find in cars such as the Ford Puma or the Peugeot 2008, but neither of those cars could match this Toyota Yaris Cross for efficiency. It's really impressive. I've seen fuel consumption as low as 4.6 litres per 100 kilometres during my time with the car, which is really excellent for a small petrol SUV like the Yaris Cross. In terms of the handling, there's plenty of front end grip and the steering feels nice as well. It's not quite as fun to drive as something like a Ford Puma, but it's mature and comfortable on the road, and those things really matter in this small SUV segment. The CVT automatic gearbox can get a little bit noisy under hard acceleration, so it's definitely a car that favours a more gentle use of the throttle, and that's when you'll get the best efficiency from it as well. So that brings us to the end of our review. The Yaris Cross is a welcome addition to the small SUV class with its rugged good looks, fuel-sipping hybrid powertrain and good quality cabin. It does get expensive as you go up the trim levels, but they do all come very well equipped. So if you're not quite ready to go electric but are looking for a small SUV that's stylish and efficient, then the Toyota Yaris Cross might be the one for you.